Come in. Ah, Mrs. Ferranti. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Take a seat. How are you doing?
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. So, Mrs. Ferranti, what brings you to my office today?
Well, my friends sent me in here because they think I have a drinking problem, but honestly, I think they're kind of full of it.
Drinking problem? So, you don't have a drinking problem?
Not at all.
You mind if I see your purse?
I mean, I guess. Okay, so I know I have a drinking problem, but I know all the effects that it has on me, and it's fine.
Okay, so you've done your research, you know alcohol is bad for you, and you know all the bad effects it does to your body. Fine, still let it be. Do you plan on having a family and kids someday, Mrs. Ferranti?
Yeah, one day.
Well, alcohol might make that a little tricky. Have you ever heard of Fetal Alcohol Syndrome?
No.
Well, fetal alcohol syndrome is a collection of alcohol-related birth defects, most notably mental retardation, facial abnormalities, and also deficiencies in the central nervous system. Alcohol is a teratogen. Do you know what a teratogen is?
It's an agent that causes malformation of the embryo.
Oh, well, I didn't expect you to know what that was. Tell me something, Mrs. Ferranti. Did you study biology at any point in your life?
Yeah, I took a Bio 3 at UNF with old Dr. Hatley.
Oh, Dr. Hatley. Yeah. Glad to hear you're still teaching there.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him in a while. Well, since you have a background in biology, I guess you understand the stages of embryonic development?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So to get a better understanding of fetal alcohol syndrome, how about we go through each stage of embryonic development, and then I'll tell you how alcohol affects each stage so you can really get a good thorough breakdown of just exactly what FAS is.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's start with the first 2 weeks following fertilization.
Okay, so once the sperm and egg come together to form the embryo, rapid cell division known as cleavage occurs as the embryo travels down the fallopian tube. And once cleavage is complete, the blastocyst implants into the uterus.
Alright, you got it mostly right. Now, I will admit, consuming alcohol during the first 2 weeks following fertilization doesn't have a direct effect on your blastocyst. However, consuming alcohol during these 2 weeks can result in improper implantation of it on the uterus. An improper implantation can either lead to an increased reabsorption rate or early termination of your embryo, which is not good because that means you would have already aborted your baby before you even knew you were pregnant. Alright, so what's the next stage of embryonic development?
Gastrulation.
Alright, can you briefly explain exactly what happens during gastrulation?
Highly organized cells rearrange the embryo into the gastrula, which consists of 3 germ layers, the endoderm, ectoderm, and mesoderm.
Very good. Now, after gastrulation, in what is known as organogenesis, the embryo is very vulnerable to the effects of alcohol. Cranial neural crest cells compose the frontal nasal process of a developing embryo. This crest interacts with the ectoderm to differentiate into our facial features. Damage to these cells results in the minor midline facial abnormalities characteristic of fetal alcohol syndrome. The precursor cells of the heart, also known as cardiac progenitor cells, differentiate after 3 weeks following fertilization. These cells proliferate, migrate, and specify into the chambers of the heart and its valves. Alcohol during this stage of development can impede the proliferation and migration of cardiac precursor cells. This results in abnormalities in the heart's chambers and valves. It can also lead to potential increase in the risk of heart disease later in life. Now, like I said before, fetal alcohol syndrome is a collection of alcohol-related birth defects. So there are many other defects that can result from alcohol during pregnancy.
Well, thank you, doctor. My eyes have really been opened. I had no idea how much alcohol could affect embryonic development. You can keep all that alcohol.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Ferranti. I'll take good care of your alcohol, and I hope you've learned a lot today. And hopefully you will be able to raise a family one day.